Welcome back, Sethling here, and today I want to show you another speedrun of Super Mario Bros. 2 on this cartridge called Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World. So here you can see the main menu of that game, where you get to switch between games or select which game you want to play. So this run, I did last week, I posted a video of a run of Super Mario Bros. 2 on this cartridge using a similar technique. This one is a lot faster, and it's actually a much simpler and easier route as well. So as you saw, I started a new game of Super Mario Bros. 2, and then saved and quit immediately to start a new game of Super Mario World. This is the part that's, a little controversial. Are you allowed to play Super Mario World during a Super Mario Bros. 2 speedrun? Even if it's on the same cartridge, does that count? Anyway, I still went for it. I decided to go for it. There's no cartridge swapping or anything like that, so there's some degree of legitimacy there. Anyway, much like the previous route, this uses arbitrary code execution in Super Mario World to basically shotgun blast a bunch of data into the save storage, where all the save files are stored on the cartridge. And actually, one of the really cool things about this route, besides it being simpler and easier, and also not requiring any multi-taps or extra controllers, is that this exact same route will work for the lost levels. I mean, obviously at the end when I save and quit and then play Super Mario Bros. 2, you would instead play the lost levels, but the exact same route will work to get you to the very last level of the lost levels. Actually, you can play any level you want in the lost levels. You can load 8-4 or D4, which are kind of the two endings to the game. So it's really cool. So the beginning here is going to look exactly like my Super Mario Bros. 2 speedrun that I did previously, and also the Super Mario Bros. 3 one. I'm going to do power-up incrementation twice. I'm not going to explain that because I've talked about it before. This power-up incrementation glitch will put me in power-up state 5. Now, when you collect a power-up, normally the game looks up what power-up it is and what power-up state you have, like firepower or whatever. It runs some code based on the combination of those two things. In the case of power-up state 5, it runs code from somewhere it's not supposed to, because power-up state 5 is a glitched power-up state that you're not supposed to have. And so if you collect a 1-up in power-up state 5, it runs code from a portion of memory that is used to draw tiles to the screen, draw sprites to the screen. So the things that are sprites are things like Yoshi or Mario or the platform here, or actually in a second we'll see a very important sprite, which is these expanding and contracting yellow platforms that Mario was just on. And so it jumps, like I said, when you collect a 1-up in Power Up State 5, it jumps to a portion of RAM responsible for displaying those tiles. And in a second here, you're going to see me actually basically manipulate the position of one of those expanding and contracting platform tiles so that it's at a very specific spot on screen. So that over there on the left, you see that platform, and when it's fully expanded and Mario's standing in this spot, and the screen scroll all the way right, I despawn that at a very specific X coordinate. And basically the game, when I collect the 1-up here in a second, the game will jump to code responsible, it'll jump to the memory responsible for drawing that tile, which consists of 4 values: an X coordinate, a Y coordinate, a sprite ID, which says where in the sprite sheet it should pull the graphics from, and then some properties. These are things like, should it be flipped horizontally or vertically, or should it be drawn behind the characters or in front of the character, in front of the main character or whatever. I will point out here debug mode, in case you haven't seen this before. Debug mode has been enabled. In addition to being able to start Super Mario Bros. 2 in World 7 with this save corruption, we have also enabled the debug mode, which enables no clip. It also enables the ability to give yourself star power by pressing the X button. It's pretty great. Anyway, so those 4 values, X coordinate, Y coordinate, sprite ID, and sprite properties, are the only code that gets run from RAM. And it just so happens that if you manipulate the X coordinate just right, the other 3, the Y coordinate, the sprite ID, and the sprite properties, have just perfect values, so that those 4 bytes of code basically just like I said before, I don't think there's any better way to phrase it. They just shotgun blast a bunch of data into the save RAM. It writes the value hexadecimal 40 to the first 256 bytes of save RAM. And that happens to give you debug mode. It happens to corrupt the save files in a way that allows you to load any world you want in Super Mario Bros. 2, any world you want in Super Mario Bros. 2J. Actually, all of the games. Super Mario Bros. 1 as well. You can load world 8, but you have to start at 8.1. Anyway, so and then here is the final boss, Wart. Fun fact about this part, normally the game waits for the music to end before allowing you to go into the door, but since you can give yourself a star, and star power comes with music, when the star power ends, it lets you go in the door, which actually happens a lot faster than what would normally happen when you kill Wart. Normally the music plays out a bit longer, so you even get to save time there. So 5 minutes, 25 seconds. It's this new arbitrary code execution. This is the first time that I've come up with an arbitrary code execution route that does not involve like spitting out sprites for the X coordinate table to create a bunch of arbitrary code, or like holding down a bunch of buttons on extra controllers. The game, you know, like I said, when you collect a 1-up in Power Up State 5, it jumps to this portion of RAM responsible for drawing sprites on the screen. We just run 4 bytes and then return control back to the game. Basically, then the game keeps running normally. And this is by far the simplest setup I've ever come up with for arbitrary code execution in Super Mario World. And it's crazy that it actually has such a huge effect. It, you know, lets you get debug mode and reload any world you want from any game except for Super Mario World. It's just like such a cool effect. I think this is actually pretty easy to learn. If you can learn power implementation, the rest of the run is actually just trivial. There's nothing hard. There's nothing like, there is one pixel perfect thing aside from power implementation, and you have as much time as you want to get into that position. Everything else, you just take as much time as you want. So I've included the route document in the video description if you're interested in trying to speedrun this category. You will need Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World. You only need one controller, no multi-taps. You don't have to hold down buttons in a fancy way or anything. You don't need clips or anything like that. It does not appear to work currently on the SD2 SNES flash cartridge, if you have that. It does appear to work on the Super UFO flash cartridge, though, which is actually a lot cheaper of a flash cartridge. And usually the SD2 SNES is more compatible with different games. But basically the SD2 SNES like assumes something about the set of chips that are in the cartridge, which is just incorrect. And so it doesn't quite emulate what's going on in the cartridge correctly. And as a result, this route does not quite work. But yeah, Super UFO seems to do it correctly. You can also run it in basically any emulator, should work fine. Yeah, I don't think that there's Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World on like the Wii or Switch Virtual Console or whatever. So I don't think you could do it there, but any emulator should work totally fine. Yeah. So anyway, I thought this was a really cool route. It's like quite a bit faster than the previous route that I was using. And the cool thing is this will work exactly. This route will work for the lost levels as well. And I haven't done any runs of that yet, but that's probably coming soon. Also, we've been working on a route for all 5 games, which uses arbitrary code execution in Super Mario World to actually corrupt the save file of Super Mario Bros. 3, and then you run arbitrary code from Super Mario Bros. 3 to launch into the other games. It's really cool. We've been working on that. That's also coming soon, or hopefully it will be. But it definitely, we've proven that it works. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I wanted to show you this like cool new route. I think this is a great sort of entry level route if you are interested in trying to do an arbitrary code execution. The only thing you need is Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World. Be careful, the original Super Mario All-Stars cartridge will not work because it doesn't have Super Mario World. But here I'm playing around with the invalid worlds you can load in Super Mario Bros. 2, where it's pulling graphics from like that's like the controller layout thing on the bottom of the screen. You can see it pulling graphics from down there. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching.